You know when you hear a piece of music and it just gets under your skin? It's beautiful, yeah, but in a way that makes you feel deeply uneasy. Well, today, we're going to dive into a modern arrangement of an ancient, haunting ballad that does exactly that.
And that right there is the central mystery we're tackling. It's not just scary or sad. It feels fundamentally wrong. So what's going on? We're going to put on our musical detective hats and figure out exactly how the composer uses music theory, almost like a weapon, to create this incredible sense of dread.
Our investigation kicks off right here with the opening lines from the old Scottish ballad, The Twa Corbies. And man, it does not waste any time. It drops you right into this super grim scene. Behind an old stone wall, there's a body. Yeah, this isn't a fairy tale, this is a straight-up crime scene.
All right, so first things first. To really get what the music is doing, we have to understand the story it's telling. And trust me, it's a chilling one. Every single musical choice we're about to talk about is all in service of this narrative.
So the plot itself is, well, it's brutally simple. You've got two crows, or corbies as they're called, and they're just chatting about what to have for lunch. They stumble upon this knight, right? But here's the really dark part. Nobody knows he's there. His hawk? Gone. His hound? Gone. Even his lady, she's already moved on. The world has completely forgotten him. And the crows? They just coldly talk about plucking out his blue eyes and using his golden hair to build their nest. I mean, wow. It's a story about the complete total indifference of the universe.
So how in the world do you translate that feeling, that cosmic coldness, into music? Well, our first clue is in the harmony. The very foundation of this song is intentionally built to feel unstable and super unnerving. Okay, to get this, we just need to quickly talk about something called a musical mode. It's easier than it sounds, I promise. Think of it like a filter on a photo. You've got the same basic picture, right? The same notes of a scale. But by just tweaking one or two of those notes, you can totally change the mood. You can go from happy to sad, from heroic to, well, to something else entirely.
Okay, so take a look at this. Most of the music you and I listen to uses a standard major scale. It sounds bright, familiar, happy. But this song uses something called the Lydian mode. It is almost the same, but one single note is raised just a tiny bit, a half step. And that one little change completely transforms the feeling. It goes from happy to something ethereal, questioning, and yeah, deeply unsettling.
This is just the perfect way to describe the effect. It's like seeing a smile that's just a little too wide, where the teeth are a bit too sharp. It feels wrong. See, the Lydian mode is technically a bright mode, but it's this weird, unnatural brightness. It creates this tension that never, ever resolves, so you're just left feeling constantly on edge.
And the composer isn't done yet. Oh no. On top of that already unnerving Lydian foundation, every once in a while, they just drop in this thing called a Neapolitan chord. It's this sudden, dark, totally unexpected shift in the harmony. It is literally the musical version of a jump scare. It's this moment of pure shock that just cuts through all that creeping dread. All right, clue number 2. Let's talk about the rhythm. Or maybe the lack of it. Because in this piece, what isn't played is just as important as what is. The composer uses the piano to create this feeling of a vast, almost terrifying emptiness. Just listen to that piano part. It's not really a melody, is it? It's not even a rhythm. It's a tolling. It sounds exactly like a funeral bell, just marking time in a dead world.
The piano part is so minimal. It's just these low, sparse notes that kind of hang there. And what that does is it forces you to notice the silence, right? The empty space between the sounds. It paints this huge, desolate picture that perfectly matches the image of that night all alone and forgotten in a field. The whole pace is just slow, deliberate, somber.
And that brings us to our third and final clue, the vocal melody itself. So we've got the stage set, right? We've got this unsettling harmony, this empty rhythm, and then the voice comes in to deliver the final, chilling blow. The most important thing to get here is that the vocalist isn't just singing pretty notes. No, they're a narrator. They're this detached observer, just telling us this absolutely gruesome story. It's like they're the voice of the ancient ballad itself, speaking to us from hundreds of years ago.
And notice the delivery. It's crystal clear, almost emotionless, right? It's not trying to be super dramatic. It doesn't have to. It just lets the words and that creepy harmony do all the terrifying work.
And the melody itself is so simple, it's almost like a folk tune you'd hear anywhere, which somehow makes the dark lyrics even more jarring. The Simir is basically our guide through this whole desolate scene, carrying the full weight of this ancient dark story.
Okay, so let's recap. We've gathered our clues, we've got the harmony, the rhythm, and the melody. Now it's time to put it all together and see the full picture, the anatomy of how this masterpiece of dread is actually built. First up, clue number 1, the unstable harmony. That Lydian mode gives us that constant low-level anxiety, that feeling that something is just fundamentally off. Then, clue number 2, the empty rhythm. Those sparse, tolling piano notes create that huge, desolate space, hammering home the loneliness and the cold indifference of it all.
And finally, clue 3, the haunting melody. That clear, almost detached vocal delivery just lays out the grim story in a way that's so chilling, it makes it even more powerful.
So here it is, the recipe for dread. You start with a truly grim, ancient story of betrayal and decay. Then you build the entire thing on that unsettling Lydian foundation. You add those sparse, tolling piano notes that sound like funeral bells. You layer a clear, haunting, storytelling vocal on top of all of it. And then, for that extra kick, you sprinkle in those shocking chord shifts. And what do you get? A masterpiece. A perfectly, intentionally crafted piece of musical dread.
So this leaves us with a question. The next time a song makes you feel something really powerful, it doesn't matter if it's joy, sadness, or that deep sense of unease. Stop and ask yourself, why? What are the clues? Because as we've just seen, every single choice a composer makes is designed to make you feel something. The secrets are always there, just waiting for you to listen.